Welcome back to another episode of the Rock Solid Sports Podcast. Today is Tuesday, May 28th, and we might not have a boring finals.
The finals is going to be great, but everything leading up to it so far has put me to sleep as easily as it can. What we expected was something great out of these conference finals. We'll get into it a little bit later, obviously, but yeah, it's been pretty disappointing.
Far from that. Far from great.
Yeah.
Of course, more Stanley Cup playoffs as well. We lost a legend in Bill Walton. We're going to talk about that. We got UFC coming up this weekend. We're going to get into gambling corner later with that. We also do have some Braves news at the very end that only one Braves fan is here to talk about.
Yeah.
We got rolling the skeleton squad today. Just us three.
Oh, yeah.
Missing a few people today, but it is all good. Let's get into it.
Yep.
We gonna make it, baby.
Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid. Rock solid sports.
Welcome back to this week's episode. Let's get the sad news out of the way first. I think we should get it out of the way so we can have the rest of the good episode. Legend, Bill Walton, NBA Hall of Famer, one of the best announcers, one of the best college players of all time, passed away on Memorial Day yesterday. He was 71, died of cancer, I believe. Couldn't be more sad to lose a legend like Bill Walton.
No, yeah, it's really tough. Such a unique person that, you don't see that often, especially when it comes to commentating. You only have a real handful of guys who have that much personality in what they do and how much care they take for it. But, yeah, not only that, but, yeah, just a college career at UCLA. Very, very great. One of the best, college athletes probably of all time. It's just really sad to see somebody like that go out.
Especially like such a unique personality, and he was so genuine to like himself. He had no care in the world of what anybody thought. Even when he's on air.
Yep.
Late Pac-12 games.
Yeah, I was about to say he was very necessary for those games for how late they were kicking off, and if you were watching on the East Coast, you maybe wouldn't see a game start until about 11 o'clock at night. Sometimes closer to midnight. So, it's just really tough to lose somebody like that.
It was just a sad thing. You see, the Pac-12 literally played its last game on Memorial Day. I think it was softball or baseball.
Yeah.
Last game, and then everybody was wondering where Bill Walton was going to go when the conference realigned, and Pac-12 he went with them. So he's watching the Pac-12 in heaven every day. It's on repeat. So that was just very sad news, especially out of nowhere. I don't think anybody knew he was really battling cancer.
Yeah, no, I mean it's just one of those things for me. It's unfortunate because I never really knew about him too much, so it sucks that this happens a lot with a lot of people, but it's usually when people pass that you really get to realize what they did and how important they were to a lot of people's lives, and a lot of people growing up watching them play as well as listening to them at the Pac-12 games. So yeah, I mean it sucks that it took this for me to learn more about him, but
I talked to a couple people that are that played or are playing in the Pac-12. They're devastated as well.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just unexpected. I think if it was more known what he was going through, which again, keep it private, that's his business. But I think if people knew about it more, it would put a little more of a spotlight on possibly this last year. So next, also very sad news.
Yeah.
Golfer Grayson Murray passed away this weekend after withdrawing out of the last tournament. Also very sad news. I just want to at least highlight that, mental health is important for everybody. He did die of suicide, and, that's not a hard thing to even say.
Yeah.
I just wanted to pretty much tell everybody, health is wealth.
No, yeah, I mean, you just gotta watch out for your people. You gotta take good care of them, especially because, it's one of those things where he had talked after he won the Sony Open in Hawaii about how he had battled, alcoholism, and he finally got out of it and worked through it, and, he had been sober since, I don't know the exact number, but, that type of stuff, battling back from that type of addiction is something that can really mess with you mentally. And, it's a lot of the time it is people who you don't see it coming. Like, and when I heard he passed and, heard that it was because of illness, it was just one of those things where you kind of thought that, it was like an organ failure or something. You never want to think about that option. So it was really a shocker, and you can kind of tell that he wasn't there when he was walking off his last hole. But yeah, it's a tough pill to swallow, especially somebody who's very good at the game. From what I've
young
heard.
too.
Yeah, very young. I think 30.
30 years old.
Very good at the game, and also from what we've heard from all these players who have played with him throughout the years, very, very good person as well.
Yeah, I'll leave it with I think it's only right. We'll leave it with a Bill Walton quote, and then we'll move on. But Bill Walton once said, "Health is the most critical thing in our life. With your health, anything is possible. Without it, you can't do anything." I think that speaks for mental health as well. So just had to get the sad news out of the way first. So let's get on a brighter subject.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to both of them. NBA playoffs. What a boring conference finals.
Good Lord. I mean, when you look at, I get the Pacers-Celtics series not being exactly what you would like it to be, but when you look at this Mavericks-Timberwolves, that was supposed to be this juggernaut series that these two teams that were on their hot streaks, great players were coming into, and it was just going to be a head-to-head battle to Game 6, Game 7, and then it's just been ass. Like, the games have been tight-ish. Like, it's not like one team's been really blowing out the other in these games, but it's just like, it's at no point do you feel like the Timberwolves are going to get it, and every time you feel like they're about to, they just blow it. And that's the same thing kind of going on with what happened to the Pacers. They're no longer in it. But it just, you watch them, and they would have a 15-point lead or something in the last, 5 minutes, and they'd blow it and lose. I feel like they did that, 2-3 times in the series. So I think the Pacers and the Timberwolves, I think if you're a fan of those teams, this sucks. This is terrible. But you also kind of got to look and be like, I kind of like how the future's looking, especially for the Timberwolves. This will not be their last time in this position. But, yeah, I guess the Mavericks, they got two players who are just hungry enough that they're not going to care what they're going to do. I think in that last game for the Mavericks, I'm pretty sure Luka and Kyrie had 30. And those are just two all-star perennial players that are going out and playing as hard as they can because they know, this is the year that we got to kick in.
They smell blood in the water right now, too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's been a rough, we gave Anthony Edwards his praise.
Mm-hmm.
I think the ridicule needs to be just as loud.
No, yeah, I agree.
Because everybody, by everybody, I mean literally everybody, not just certain people online, even us, said Anthony Edwards is that guy, that guy. People were calling him the next Michael Jordan, all this. He's been pretty ass since Game 5 of the Nuggets series.
Yeah, it's just not been good. I think it's just one of those things where when you play well and you also respectfully you run your mouth and you kind of let your presence known and you're a little cocky, you also put yourself in the line of fire for when you're not playing well. You have to take these losses gracefully because you did nothing but run your mouth the entire series beforehand. And this is not me even taking a shot at Anthony Edwards. I love him and I love his charisma. But, yeah, he has to be just as, head up, chin up.
I just need the ridicule to be just as loud as the praise.
Yeah, no, I agree. When you don't play well, you should be getting ripped more than you should be getting praised because it's awesome, you did really good in, the divisional, before this. But what now? It doesn't matter what you did in the past two series if you come out here and shit the bed in this series. Yeah,
him and Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know, their last two games, their numbers have been, I don't think they could shoot worse. Especially Kat. He got benched at the end of, I think it was Game 3, and it was Game 2. Whenever Luka had that dagger, oh no, we have to put that clip in here. That
switch. Gobert's out there. Doncic maneuvers for the lead.
Luka, oh my gosh, that absolute sidestep, step back, double.
Yeah,
Rudy Gobert, the double pump fake. He was trying to close out, and his body just wouldn't let him.
Nope.
And it was kind of embarrassing to watch. And then Luka said, "Mother, you can't guard me," and then told all the fans, "You go home." Bad word. But no, it was awesome to watch. Whenever I just love this time of year when Rudy Gobert is just getting attacked.
Yeah,
the NBA players. I listened to a part of my take. They said the same thing. I'd never seen a defensive player of the year get put in more like more rotations.
Yeah.
They want to attack him. Other defense players of the year, like in the past, they don't do that.
Yeah, I think it's one of those things where I can't remember. Somebody was saying it. I want to say it was Charles Barkley, maybe, but I'm not 100% positive. But he was, it echoes to that thing where when you win 4 defensive players of the year, you can't come out and play bad defense. Like that is the one thing you were supposed to be good at. And even if everything else around you is falling apart, that falls on you to be that pillar of strength when it comes to playing defense against these teams, especially a team like the Mavericks who are hungry, that smell blood in the water, that are playing their best ball they played all year, and you come in there and you just can't do what you need to do. And that's a huge part of what their team is about, is having those 2 big guys in the paint that can play really good defense and work through it.
And Cat got benched at the end of game 2. Like if they're big 3. I'm putting that in quotes because that's not really a big 3 to me. But 3 All-Stars, 2 of them possible Hall of Fames. Just looking at it right now, you can't. If Naz Reid was every single player on their team, they'd probably be okay. They'd probably be winning a couple games.
No, yeah.
But like when their big 3 doesn't step up, and the Mavericks have guys like P.J. Washington, Derek Lively before he got hurt. They're Daniel Gafford, their other big. When they have these guys stepping up, and the Timberwolves don't even have their best player stepping up, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get down 3-0 in the series. Yep. And it's possible it's going to get ended, tonight. And the next starts in like 20 minutes.
Yeah, and I mean, I think a lot of experience comes into play for sure, because I think Anthony Edwards, I think his future is bright, but right now he's getting his first little dose of, we're better than you, and we're playing on a big stage right now that you've never been to, where the lights are brighter, and you're not ready for it, and we are. And I think that's showing a lot, that the pressure is really starting to pile up on him, that it's not doing the same thing to the Mavericks.
Last little nugget I have on this series is, I just remember last week I said, when we were like taking our predictions, I think I think most of you guys picked Timberwolves to like win against the Celtics in the finals. Yeah. Probably won't even make it there unless they have a miraculous comeback. My whole point on why the Timberwolves wouldn't win is because I just could not see Karl Anthony Towns with the word NBA champion next to it. I just think it stands true. The way he's been playing, the way he's kind of just folded, it's Karl Anthony Towns fashion. Yeah. So it's exactly what I expected. I should have picked Dallas. Yeah. One of us should have picked Dallas.
Yeah, no, we did not save the graphic on that one. I mean, but like everything that we had seen coming into that series would have leaned to at least a good series. Yeah. Like, this is shocking. Like, seeing the Celtics, that doesn't really blow me off my feet that much. This really does. This really, I think, takes not just me, but a lot of people back of, like, you never know what can happen when you step into these big-time games, because everybody and their mother was probably picking, more or less, 90% of people were probably picking Timberwolves to win this series because of what they had been doing. So, I don't know, man. It really took me off a little bit.
It's what can you do for me lately type of league.
I think they're just tired now. They had a 7-game series with the Nuggets, and even though they've whooped us for multiple games, I still think that's tiring, and that has to do with experience as well.
And also, it's a long 7-game series, but it's also multiple games back-to-back where they were losing by a good bit. Like, they weren't just losing, they were getting beat. Yeah. So that's a hard one to come off of, but there's really no excuse when you're in this position and you're playing as good as you are. This is the playoffs. There's no time to be tired. Like, no one cares how winded you are. You got to get out there and you got to play.
A team that it's definitely not tired. The Boston Celtics.
No.
Oh my gosh, they ran through the East. They lost 2 games the whole playoffs so far. That is ridiculous. Yeah. That's without Porzingis for over half the time. It's the thing that people were saying. Everybody knows it. They didn't play anybody. Yeah. But you can only play who's in front of you, and I understand that. You play a Heat team without Jimmy Butler, without Rozier. Yeah. Play a Cavs team missing Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen for half the series. Yep. You play the Pacers, who, weren't the greatest team, but they're young, they're fast, they get up and down the floor quick, but they're missing their point guard. They're missing Tyrese Haliburton, their all-star. But like, I don't want to knock Boston for that because, one, they've only lost 2 games. So it's not like, these series are going deep or anything. Yeah. But, like, you can only play who's in front of you.
Yeah. No, I agree. And, I mean, I've always thought this, too. It's like, no matter what the level of competition you're playing is, I think, beating a team like, the Butlerless Heat, but doing it in 4-1 fashion, beating the Cavs in 4-1 fashion, beating the Pacers in 4-0 fashion. I think a big part of that's almost as comparable to me as a hard-fought game, 7-game series against a really good team. I think that shows the amount of dominance that you have. So, I mean, if you want to relate it to football, let's just say Georgia's playing a team that is really good, and they beat them by 3. That's just as comparable in my mind as playing a bad team and beating them by 40. Mm-hmm. It's on the same level for me.
Sure.
But just looking at their path, I mean, I will say it has been a lot easier, and they haven't had to go through much struggle at all. And looking at not only this series, but the one in the West as well, I can't help but think that the Knicks would have given the Celtics a much better series, and I think the Nuggets would have given the Mavs a much better series.
I think so too.
I have a hard time believing that these games would be over and done right now if the Knicks came into the conference finals a little healthier. Yeah. I think they give them a good run for their money, a hot team who's kind of had to fight through the 76ers to get here and would have had to fight through the Pacers to get there. I think they give them a really good series. And I think the Nuggets kind of just fell off on their back foot a little bit and kind of got a rough break and couldn't make it there. But I think if they would have, I think they have more people that can size up better against the Mavericks than I think the Timberwolves did. And I think they have that experience, too, of being there. So you can't help but think we were this close to having really, really good conference finals.
Yeah, it all got taken away, sadly.
Yep.
The one thing I thought was crazy last night after the Celtics won, they moved on to the finals. Jaylen Brown won the Eastern Conference MVP, whatever they call it. I forget what the award. I forget the name they have it for the East. I think it's Magic Johnson for the West. Yeah. Maybe Larry. Anyway, he won it over Tatum, which funny for many reasons. But so there was a little scuffle mid-game. I think Miles Turner, he went and kind of shoved Miles Turner. Miles Turner took a little offense to that, pushed him out of the way. Jaylen Brown's quote after the game, and we'll put the clip in, but he pretty much called Miles Turner he's like, I love that kid. I think Miles Turner's 3 years older than him. He was like, that's a good kid over there. And I'm like, those are fighting words, whether he knows it or not. Mm-hmm. He I don't know. He hasn't done anything. Again, he has 1 year to win 5 rings. Mm-hmm. He should have been an All-NBA. I'll give him that. He should have definitely been on an All-NBA team this year. He is a great player. Mm-hmm. But to go talking, and you're talking against Miles Turner, bro. Let it go. Don't you got bigger fish to fry, you think, coming up in the finals? Yeah.
But, I mean, so we're definitely looking at a Mavericks-Boston
unless something crazy happens.
And I that'd be awesome if it did. No. There's no shot in hell it's going to happen.
I can't have that for Karl Anthony Towns' legacy. I can't.
But, we're going to be looking at a Boston and
Dallas
finals. So that should be good. I mean, I think Dallas will win it. I think the Celtics have a hard time just finishing it out when they should. I don't know. I think it could go either way.
Hey, the good thing is we don't have to make our predictions right now.
Exactly, and I'm not going to. I'm just going to.
Because the finals don't start till June 6th. I don't know why the NBA does this. Just they're not going to move it up, even if both of these get swept. Yeah, so now we have to wait.
They weren't planning on both of these games taking a week to finish up.
No.
So.
Well, we have to wait 10 days for a game to watch the finals? What am I going to do for 9 days?
Insane.
Watch baseball?
Yeah, what the hell? That's a July thing.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think if you're trying to match them up a little bit, I think the Mavericks are scrappier, and I think they're harder to play against. And I think the Celtics kind of just have, a juggernaut team that just seems not able to lose, really. But I think they're going to finally meet a team in this finals that can really take them to the length of the whole game, each game they play. If that series goes less than 6 games, I'd be honestly shocked.
The closers Dallas has it's crazy too. I think that's the huge difference in this Minnesota game. Minnesota's up in the fourth quarter almost. I think 2 out of 3 games so far, late in the fourth, and they have the Mavericks just have 2 guys that you feel confident with the ball in their hand every last possession, and I think Boston is the same way. I think they have studs. I can't wait to actually make the prediction next week because we don't have to rush into it right now and then hopefully we'll have everybody back if you guys are listening. But Dallas, Boston, hopefully we could dive into that more next week if that is the case. Dallas. Speaking of Dallas Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Edmonton Oilers. Dallas is up 2-1 right now. Imagine Texas Rangers win the World Series last year. The Mavericks and the Stars both go to their respective finals.
Mm-hmm.
What if they both win?
Yeah.
What about the Cowboys?
Well, you could maybe not in terms of winning percentage, but you can almost start to compare the Dallas Cowboys to the Colorado Rockies and what they do to affect the label of a sports town. But yeah, no, that'd be really impressive. This series has been good, and I don't think this series is over by any means. I think this is going to go on for quite a bit. You got the Panthers and Rangers kicking off right now.
0-0.
0-0. Yeah, I think the Rangers are up 2-1 right now.
2-1. Yep.
Just another juggernaut team. I know I'm throwing that word around a lot, but it just kind of, there's so many. This is the first one that I've seen in a while where, like, in each respective sport, there's just a team or two that is just unstoppable. And the Rangers have kind of proven to be that right now. And if they go and get the win tonight, right now, I don't know. It's going to be hard to see the Panthers come back from that. I think hockey's such a hard sport to come back
Sad.
in a series like that. But you never know. The Panthers win it tonight. 0-0 series.
Different ball
just
game.
starts over completely. At that point, it becomes a best-of-3 series. And, you can kind of reset the clock there. But if the Rangers do walk out with the win, which I think is going to happen, I think they're a little too hot for the Panthers to handle right now. That's probably going to draw the end of that.
It's literally Igor, bro. Like, the Panthers had like 100 and something shots the other night, like 40 on net, and Igor, I think, shut him out. Like, he just didn't let him score, and he's been impressive. It sucks to see because I really want the Panthers to win.
Yeah.
They were in it last year, and just seeing them lose to Vegas when I felt like Bob, the goalie, when I felt like he played so well for his team just to let him down. And it's kind of happening right now again. So I'm hoping they can win tonight because that'd be great. But, yeah, that Dallas-Edmonton series as well has been crazy. That game yesterday, I think they were down like 3-0 or 2-0 like quick and came back, went to overtime, pretty sure. Dallas pulls it off. They're up 2-1. I agree with you, though. I don't think this series is anywhere near over.
No, I could see the Oilers pulling it out tomorrow and kind of evening it up, making it, back to what we said. Like, it's almost pretty much best of 3 series at that point. And that's what you want to see. You want to, in these conference finals, I mean, obviously, if you're a fan of either of these teams, you want your team to just kind of outright win it, even if it is like taking a couple losses, but really just doing it. But for a lot of us, especially in Colorado where our team isn't playing anymore, but, people in Colorado love hockey. They want to see good hockey. They don't want to see what's going on in the NBA right now, because if you're like trying to get somebody into the NBA right now, it's impossible because you're like, oh, let's go peep these playoff games. And it's like, oh, how's it going? Oh, one team's just stomping the other. And that's kind of how it's been for the whole time. So, but you come over to the NHL, and these have been some really, really good series that have been hard fought, and there's been a lot of storylines coming from them. So it's an exciting time to be just a hockey fan, because a lot of these, I think there's a good chance that we walk out of, tomorrow with the Rangers and Panthers tied and the Stars and Oilers tied, and just like that, we have a whole brand new slate of games that we can watch. But it's exciting for sure.
Do you have any comments on the Stanley Cup playoffs?
I don't think I've tuned in, especially yesterday. It was Memorial Day.
Yeah, happy Memorial Day to
lot
everybody. Thank you to everybody who's, served, been a part of Memorial Day. So we thank you. Might as well throw that in. I forgot it was Memorial
Thank
Day.
you.
We also forgot to say Happy Mother's Day like 3 weeks ago on the pod.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I got reminded of that after. So Father's Day is coming up. We'll have to wish everybody. Angel Hernandez.
Go.
MLB umpire, maybe the worst ever. You have already had your rant on this show about Angel Hernandez.
Yeah, I have.
He is now out, or as he would call it, safe.
Yeah, no, his brand of umpiring is difficult to watch. I mean, it feels purposeful. It doesn't feel like, it seems like it's harder to be that bad than it is to actually call a game well. And I think he's mastered the art of just being a terrible umpire. And I think at some point he just decided, no, I'm just going to be bad.
That's what I was going to say. At some point, like, with how much criticism he got, especially, there's no way he was like, yeah, I'm going to try and change my ways.
Yeah, and, it's one of those things where you have to be a special kind of awful for people to notice it this bunch, because, like, as an umpire behind the catcher trying to eye in with a cage in front of your face, it's a hard thing to do. I don't think anyone will look you in the eye and tell you that being an umpire is easy, ever.
No.
Yeah.
But to be that consistently bad. Like, to miss a call every now and then, that's one thing. Every umpire does that. Every umpire's strike zone is different, and players know that. But you can't guess where Angel's strike zone's going to be.
No.
So it's impossible to kind of adjust to him, and he's so wildly unpredictable in what he's going to do in any given game that it's going to be good to see him go, because it's so hard to watch him just do that poorly and still have a job. So it's nice. I don't want to say it's nice that he doesn't have a job anymore, but I'm sure that MLB retirement plan is quite nice.
I'm sure he's fine.
Yeah. So, but happy trails, buddy.
So now we need another umpire. Who's the next umpire to be the worst? We had Joe West.
Mm-hmm.
We had Angel Hernandez. We need a new one.
And you know what? I think it's just it's a shadowy figure walking out of fog right now that nobody knows who it is yet, but he will make his presence known. And I think the biggest thing when it comes to bad umpiring, in my opinion, there's going to be one. One day we're going to switch to the video robot stuff. I think there still will be a ump behind the plate to call like things that happened at the plate, things that happened in the field. There's got to be a guy back there for that. But I think the only thing that's going to ever change it, I think it's going to stay the way it has been for hundreds of years, it feels like at this point. Nothing's going to change that. But one thing might. And that is World Series, Game 7, runner on third, 2 outs, 3-2 count, ball way outside, calling it striked, and the game ends on just a horrible call. That will be the day that no more umpires call strikes and balls. So that's why I think if they want to keep those guys around, they need to get the good guys in when the moments are the biggest. And
did you just get the script?
Maybe.
I think Max Scherzer has the perfect solution to umpiring. And he said it a couple weeks ago, I think. But just the same thing that you do with the players, you do to the umps. If you're sucking as an ump, you get moved down to the minors.
Yeah.
Like, you're done. Bye. And then, like, if you're doing great, you're killing it, you get a raise.
Yeah.
Like, I think that makes so much sense. And I don't know how it's not already implemented. Maybe not getting moved to the minors, but I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, and I mean, like, with the strike zone and a lot of umpires, it's just, like I said before, they're all so different, and a lot of players have to adjust to that. And, it's hard to watch a ball come in at 95, 99 miles an hour and try to guess where it's going to be on the plate. So when it's close like that, you get it if it goes one way or another. But you can tell when it's bad enough that anybody with good eyes can tell that it wasn't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree. What I woke up to, that was just hilarious. I had no clue that he was going to plan on retiring in the middle of the season.
Yeah.
Out of all things. He's getting like a lot of criticism this year too. The media's really turned on him.
Yeah.
Not that it's ever been on his side, but it's been like extra bad this year. And he said he wanted to go spend time with his family.
You think they told him to pack it up?
I wouldn't be surprised.
You can either retire and have some dignity, or you're getting fired.
Yeah.
It's one thing to be poor at your job and nobody really notices that much, but when you
everybody
were
knows.
on this big of a blast, MLB might have honestly gone up to him and been like, you gotta wrap it up.
Rob Manfred is enough of an asshole, I think, that he would be like, yo, you're either leaving, you're on your own, or you're leaving my force.
Well, who knows? Maybe it's like a Jameis Winston situation. Maybe he just needs like LASIK. Maybe he's just had horrible eyes.
I thought you were gonna say he stole some crab legs.
Didn't he have his best season with not being able to see? I know he threw like 30 interceptions.
He had the 30 for 30 here.
Yeah.
He threw 30 interceptions, but threw 30 touchdowns, which is also just impressive, especially when you realize he couldn't see. He might have thrown 60.
Both.
I think he said he could see everything except like if you got past the linebackers, like he couldn't see any of the secondary or anything. And I was like, well, that's probably who you need to see.
Just a sidebar. How impressive that is. Like, I have 20/20 vision, and you put me back in the pocket, I would crumble, fall to the side, maybe cry a little bit, get in the fetal position. Like, I wouldn't be able to do it. And the fact that he was seeing through a blurred lens like 40 yards down there, being like, here we go.
Mike Evans is down there, fuck it.
Eating W's and everything.
And dude, just being like 30 touchdowns, that's not something you see a lot from people who see well. So, yeah, no. But anyway.
From Angel Hernandez to Jameis Winston.
It's never a bad time for a Jameis Winston mention.
No, gotta love Jameis. Last thing I think we should talk about real quick. What the hell is going on in the WNBA? Why are we beefing with Caitlin Clark again? Didn't we learn from the first time?
Here's how I'm viewing the situation currently. I think I don't think that Caitlin Clark has taken any offense to what has been going on to her. I think she realizes it's part of the game, and I think everyone is. I think it's sports media that has really been taking and running with it, which, if we're going to be honest with each other, it's a good and a bad thing. It's bad that they're pumping these false narratives into this and making everyone kind of spat, but it's good because everyone's paying attention. Everyone's watching. Everyone's keeping up with it. Like, nobody's just letting that fall to the side. So it's a good and a bad thing that the media's doing it, but I don't think it's any of the players or it's Caitlin. I don't think it's any of them, really. I think, and if it is, it's been pushed onto them by this outside source that has got them thinking that way.
I agree. The media has been so crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every time Caitlin Clark has a bad game, article.
Mm-hmm.
The other night, Alyssa Thomas and Angel Reese.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not. I just don't. It's not the exact quote. I don't have it in front of me, but Big Cat did say it today. I'll pardon my take. He said that some lady made a piece about Alyssa Thomas like pushed Angel Reese into like a flagrant, happened like twice in the game or something, and they tried to relate it to like jobs in America, like getting pushed down. I don't want to get into it too crazy on this, but like it's just basketball.
Yeah, it's just basketball.
they took 2 hard fouls and made it about like, social issues. And I'm like, no, it's just a fucking hard foul.
Yeah. No, yeah.
I don't. You can tell who's new to watching sports, and the women's NBA. I mean, yeah, granted they're getting a lot of new eyes, but like let's just keep the eyes on the court.
No, yeah,
and not the other shit.
No, yeah, I think it's just we should be happy in the fact that the WNBA is getting a lot more notice and a lot more views towards them, because that's a great first step to garnering more attention and garnering more money for the players so they can get paid better. But yeah, I think it's just, especially if you want to dial it back to Caitlin Clark, it's just one of those things where I don't know why everyone was expecting her to be this amazing player. Really, like I think we all were like, she'll be fine. But
you got to give her some time.
Yeah, you got to give her some time. You got to give her a year. Angel Reese has come in and played pretty solid, but that's just because I feel like she is also of a size and of a position to where it may be a little easier to kind of squeak into there when you're playing a sport where not everybody is 6'4", and you can kind of stand out when you show up no matter what level it is. Not to take anything away from Angel Reese. She's a dog. She's been playing so good for years now. But it's just one of those things where, Caitlin Clark isn't the tallest. She's not the strongest. And I think for her, it's just going to come with experience in the league. And whereas an Angel comes in and is kind of physically prepared and ready for it, Caitlin has to kind of mentally and, emotionally kind of lock into it.
All the rookies have been great. Cameron Brink, people were saying she looks like Dwight Howard, like prime Dwight Howard. Not like that. Not that type of Dwight Howard, but like prime Dwight Howard defensively. And I've only watched that one Sparks game where Caitlin Clark did get her first win and did get the dagger over them. But Angel Reese has been great. Cardozo sadly still out. I think she's gonna be out for a while.
Yeah, Rakia Jackson's been playing good.
Shout out Nika Mule. Love you. But yeah, no, like I said it in like one of the first episodes. I said like it's a good thing that it's garnishing this much attention. It's garnishing hate because it means people care. But the hate should be about basketball.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be about other storylines or making it about social issues or stuff like that. It's just basketball. What did LeBron say? It's just basketball. Just basketball. Yeah. But yeah, it is cool now. Like to see though, like people are actually talking about it. It's on Twitter all the time. Everywhere now. Like League Fits is pretty much just like a women's NBA page now. It's not even an NBA page anymore.
And it's just one of those things where I think, for me personally, I'm not sitting down and watching every single game, and I don't know if I ever will, even for
but if they're on TV,
NBA. If they're on TV, I'll throw it on. But I think the biggest thing is I'm keeping up with it. And I'm maybe not watching, but it's the same thing with the NBA. I don't really watch all the games. Unless it's on, I'll watch it, but I think it's important that I'm keeping up with it. And I think a lot of people are starting to kind of see it more on their feeds, seeing it more on ESPN. Like, it feels like the season isn't going by as fast as it usually does. Usually you're
Usually
like,
you blink and it's
it's like the WNBA season starts now and it's over. So it's just nice to see where it's like
It's the Madden halftime.
yeah, literally, bro.
Was it David Aldridge for 2K?
Oh yeah.
Let's go kick it, David Aldridge. All right, guys, and we're back.
But yeah, no, it's just good to see like
Thank
more
you,
people
David.
dialing in.
No, I agree. I guess that's it before the segments. The Rangers are up 1-0 now. It's terrible news. So maybe your prediction is going to be right again. Maybe it won't. Hopefully not. Timberwolves up 8-5 early. So let's get into the ad read. Oh, real quick before the ad read. These are the new sweatshirts, new hoodies, new pants. Go check them out. It'll be literally about 5 seconds away. Go check out their socials. June 1st, these are dropping. June 1st. So make sure you get them. Go check them out. Go listen to the ad read. We'll see you on the other side.
And make sure you check them out.
All right, guys. Let me tell you guys about Slove. It is almost summertime. You know what that means. Sun's out. Great vibes. It's time to spread love. You guys got to go hit up my boys at Slove. When you wear a Slove piece, you are not just wearing a piece of clothing. You're elevating your style and representing what love looks like. Like, look at this beautiful sweatshirt. Baby blue prism. This was one of their last drops. They have another drop coming up soon that I cannot wait for you guys to see. I've seen it, and it is amazing. So make sure you join Slove in creating a world where love triumphs over hate and fashion meets compassion. Go follow them on Instagram at slove.co. or go visit their website at sluv.us. That is sluv.co on Instagram or sluv.us on their website. Go check them out. Welcome back to the segment part of the show. This week, little impromptu Braves dugout at the end. But we'll start with Gambling Corner. We said we were going to do it again this week because UFC 302 is this Saturday. I'm so excited. We have our picks for this week. We want to repeat again. Not advice. We just do this so we can have proof of ourselves losing online. But yeah, do not take our advice. If you choose to, you might win. You never know. It's called gambling for a reason. So if not, good luck with your picks. I'll let you start, Jackson.
Yeah. So I mean, we're gonna start off with UFC 302.
302.
So my knowledge of this isn't super extensive, but just following off of kind of just the numbers is usually what I run with when I bet on this type of stuff. I do have just in terms of wanting to make a little money. Some of these guesses like Islam, I got plus 310 for KO TKO. And then I also have the fight going to round 3 because I don't think a fight with Islam has gone past that in a long time. So I'm just kind of following the numbers there, and that's all I can really think of. It kind of seems clear-cut who's going to kind of walk out of this with the victory. I mean, obviously you never know. They fight for a reason, and, it can all change with one swing. So you never know. But, yeah, that's the ones I'm going with.
What's the odds? And what do you on?
So with the round 3 ending, so I could only do them in split bets and straight bets. So with the ending in round 3, it's plus 550. $10 gets you $55. And with him winning by KO or TKO, 10 for 31. So put them together, you're looking at like 86. So not a bad profit, for kind of a reach a little bit for what you might be going for. I think Caden just told us a little bit ago that the odds that kind of shifted like minus something for him to win by submission. So it's really whatever you pick your poison and what he's going to do and kind of ride that.
Your picks.
I got 3. Probably going to be parlayed for myself just because it's mainly like favorites. I got Kevin Holland, just money line straight up. That's minus 258. This is on DraftKings. I tend to just go there first. I got Islam by submission. If that fight goes to the ground, that fight's over immediately, I think. The only way Dustin Poirier wins is by a knockout, and I really wanted to do that too, but that's absolutely insane. So I didn't. And then I got Sean Strickland winning by decision at plus 150. Parlay odds for that are plus 524.
Solid. I'm also on DraftKings. We had one of the same picks. My 2 straight bets, I'm going to have Kevin Holland money line. I think he takes that one pretty easily. I had it at minus 258 as well. Sean Strickland money line as well. Also a straight bet. I'm confident in Sean right now. just because how he's been fighting. He has the opportunity to become what the first? No, is that Pereira? He could be. This isn't for a belt, is it? It is. It definitely is because it's a co-main.
Yeah.
So
You're correct.
he has a chance to defend his belt.
Yep.
So I think he will be doing that. And I'm going to be on the other side of history.
Okay.
This is Dustin Poirier's last chance to get that belt. His last chance. If he doesn't get it now, I think he already said he's walking away. Let's do it, Dustin. Let's fucking do it.
Yeah.
Dustin Poirier to win by knockout, TKO, or DQ, plus 750 on DraftKings.
Mm-hmm.
He said he wanted to submit him and get a life-size statue.
Guillotine.
Yeah, he wanted to put him in a guillotine, get a life-size statue, and put it in his front yard. Dustin, let's go get you this belt. Islam is probably one of the best fighters in the world right now, probably top 3.
Yeah.
But all you got to do, it just takes one swing.
Mm-hmm.
Just takes one swing.
Was it the last Dustin Poirier fight where he just kept? Was it the BMF belt where he just kept putting him in a guillotine? Like he just every fight,
But
or
then
every.
I think he
change.
lost that fight though.
Yeah, with the Gaethje, I'm pretty sure.
Gaethje, yeah.
But he was trying to get that guillotine.
Yeah.
That's his life goal right now is a fucking guillotine.
Hey, he's gonna do it. I hope he does it. So yeah, hopefully we make some money this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You might be making money on the beach.
I hope so. Hopefully, I'm gonna have to get on my bets in before I go in case it's not legal there.
LP Moose is going to the Dominican Republic.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Vacation vibes.
Beer, beach, sun,
Cerveza.
Caden.
I was gonna say that's the most important part. Maybe golf.
Maybe I haven't decided yet. I gotta take
Yeah.
the clubs.
Maybe. All right. Well, we get into our last segment. It's a little impromptu, and it would be really nice if we had one of our other people here, Hunter. This is Braves dugout.
Mm-hmm.
Second time we've done this. We were gonna wait till June, maybe July, to do the second one, but there's been some news.
Yeah, there's been some horrible news. Ronald's out. Ronald Acuna Jr. is out for the season because he tore his other ACL, not the same one that he tore before. And you know what? It's not going to matter because the Braves are going to keep rolling. They're in a little patch right now where they're not doing so hot, but they're going to turn around. They're going to get hot when it comes to October, and they're going to roll through. And then our GM's going to do exactly what he did the last time Acuna got hurt like this. He's going to go out. He's going to get some dogs. He's going to bring them to Atlanta, and they're going to take it all the way.
Tell him.
And that's what I think is going to happen.
All the way to the NLDS when you guys play the Phillies.
And then we beat their ass. Yeah. Because we are not stopping. We are a train that has no stops, not even in L.A., not in Philadelphia, not nowhere. We're going all the way, and we're going to do the same thing. Hey, hell, let's bring back Jock, and let's bring back Soler. Let's bring them back in. Let's make that same run we did in 2021. Let's do it again.
So, moral of the story,
That's a Braves corner right there.
Ronald Acuna did tear his ACL.
Yeah.
MVP of last year of the National League. He was great this year, at least hitting the ball. He was struggling a little bit defensively.
Yeah.
The Braves are right now 30-21, 6 games behind the Phillies for the East Division in the National League. It's early. I don't really think any of this matters right now. It does suck. Losing Ronald Acuna is a huge loss.
No, yeah. And back on to more of a serious note, they do actually need to find somebody to fill that spot in. I think everyone on the team, everyone's been asking, who on the team is going to step up into that role. And I think the only issue with that is everyone on the team kind of has their own rule of what they do for the Braves. So I think it's not going to be that out of the question for them to go out and go find somebody who has the hit power to match up. We have people who can fill in defensively for him. Obviously they may not have the arm power, the strength of him, but I think we can go out and find somebody who hitting-wise can kind of keep us on that par and keep us going. But, yeah, that's a spot offensively that needs to be filled for sure.
The reporting of that the other night was so confusing to me. He left the game with left knee soreness.
Yeah.
That shit wasn't sore. It was torn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know why they said that at the beginning. It's like his leg appeared to buckle, and then I find out the news the next day. I'm like, oh, so he tore it. I was like, why didn't we just say he has a left knee injury?
And honestly,
it's not sore.
The thing is, too, if you saw how it happened and you thought it was a left knee soreness, you are being blissfully ignorant. Because, no, you don't fall like that unless a ligament in your body just goes and just disappears. Because he was doing like a little fake, like he was going to run to third, and I just hate it. I hate it so much when people get hurt that bad doing something that just doesn't matter. Like he was just doing something a little flashy to try to get them off guard, and now he can't play ball for the rest of the season. So that's going to be a tough loss for the Braves, but I think, right now they're in a little bit of a stoop, and I think they're going to get out of it, and I think they're going to find somebody through trades, probably more closer to the trade deadline, to kind of fill that in for that last, late season rush. But, it doesn't scare me too much. The last time we won a World Series, we didn't have him. And, we had a buddy yesterday tell me, like, at what point do you think about what are we doing? Like, it's great that we have him, and it's great how good he is, but he's not done much to the point where he's helped us win anything, really. So, I mean, Acuna is a guy that you could trade off and get a lot, and that's not something I want to happen. Let me put that out there. But if he's going to keep getting kind of hurt and not really helping us get to that final point, maybe it is time that we look into trading him for somebody, maybe some pitchers, maybe some, some just good hitters that can be consistent. A little money ball strategy. Just we're buying runs, we're not buying players.
Get on base.
But I think the future will hold a lot, and I think it's just something we're gonna have to hold back and see on. But I mean, you don't want to wait too long on like the idea of trading him, because you don't want him to go another year and then get hurt again, and then what turn from a guy who had a rough break to a guy having a serious issue of can't stay healthy. So I think there's that window is like very small, like 2-3 years maybe, of what are we going to do with this, because we have such a talented team, and he's a part of how talented that team is. But if we can't have him during the season, there's no reason that we should be paying a ton of stupid money to him if he's not going to be able to finish a season, and then the one season we win the World Series, he's not even playing. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a lot coming up here soon with what the Braves are going to do. I think there's a lot of important moves that need to be made. But this is, like I said, the same position we were in 2021. Acuna was down. We needed some guys to really fill in this roster. We went out and got Peterson, Soler, who ended up literally being the biggest pieces in that run. So I think that's might be a big part, is going out and finding someone like that.
Dodgers legend Jock Peterson. You guys are up 1-0 right now against the Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I think they've been in a little slump, but you guys couldn't win a few games. You have scheduled Nationals this week, Athletics this weekend, at Boston, kind of been struggling. They've been decent, but struggling. Then you're back at Washington for the Nationals again.
Yeah.
And then Baltimore, which will be a tough series, but then Tampa and Detroit. Like, I could see where you guys win a lot of games here, and you kind of have to feel like it has to be before that deadline.
No, yeah, definitely. And, right now I think, Hunter, I talked to him about it a lot too. I mean, this obviously kind of shakes that thought a little bit, but the Braves are going to make it to the playoffs. Yeah. Like, there's no shocker there. So I think the biggest thing is just trying to figure out when we want to start ramping it up, when we want to start winning a ton of games in a row and really start getting hot, which is preferably about, a month or so right before playoffs start, so you can go into it hot. But, yeah, I think around the trade deadline they're going to find somebody. I mean, I don't know what we'll give up or what we'll want to, move around to get them in, but something's going to have to happen. We're going to have to get a real game changer to come in and help the team out. And I think we will. But, time will tell on what we do, and I think we're going to get out of the stoop. I think we're going to start winning a little bit. And as long as we get hot at the right time, I'm not too scared about what's going to happen.
And that's the news in the Braves dugout right now, as of May 28th, 2024. Do you guys have any words for the people before we wrap it up?
Nope.
Yeah, just appreciate your life, appreciate the people around you. Never take anything that you have for granted. One thing that you have can be gone the next day, and it's very important that you don't take for granted the things that make you happy, and really, take stock in the things that are awesome in your life.
I was going to end it with a Bill Walton quote. I think it's only fitting. Bill Walton, quote, unquote, I can think, I can sleep, I can move, I can ride my bike, I can dream, quote. I think it's quite as simple as just enjoying the little things.
Yep.
Life is precious. It's very short. I think we learned that, in Big Two stories this week. So I think that is the most important thing. Sports are sports, but life is, forever. Should be forever.
Yep.
So
you don't realize how big the little things are until you don't have them.
Yep. So, go tell somebody you love them. It might just make their day. See you guys next week.
Peace.